carbon fiber overlays from Yes Lac. Even the cup holders. Look at this. Look at this. These come in matte. They come in gloss. This is obviously the matte finish. I typically prefer the gloss because it has more of that 3D look, but I've got a lot of other matte going on in here right now, so I thought it'd be better to match that up. All right, I love the carbon fiber, and it's finishing off the entire interior here. I have the Performance Model 3, and it already comes from Tesla with some carbon fiber on the dash here, although this is actually an aftermarket set because this is extra, came with this. It's a slightly different, as well as some of the steering wheel overlays that we've got here, so it's really completing everything here. I'm loving it. All right, so we are going to check this out a little bit more. We're going to get a close-up view during the unboxing, and I'll show you how to do an install. There was a small issue right in here with some clearance. The factory clearance here is very tight, so when you add an overlay, no matter how thin it is, and this is very thin, double-sided tape is also very thin, even so, it did create a slight binding issue here, and I show you how to fix that. Check it out. It is like completely fixed. Okay, so no sweat. Don't worry about that. They are selling this right now in, you could buy just these three, or you could buy these three with the added cup holder in there, which, you know, I got to say, I would recommend. It just looks better, okay? You got to have the full set. Almost forgot, they also sent over this steering wheel cover, which I am going to have to make another video for because I ran out of time, okay? Ran out of time to do this one. So we're just going to be covering these overlays today. They also make the seat backs for the Performance Model 3 seats, which I did a video on before. Again, all the links are below. So watch the entire video. Install is very simple. All the links are below. Don't forget the discount code TESLAMARK. Use it here. Use it everywhere. It works in all the best places, and it will save you the most amount of money. All right, check this out. We have got real carbon fiber, my friends. Yeah, this looks pretty sweet, and ooh, nice. Real thin double-sided tape, and it's covering the entire surface. This is obviously matte carbon fiber, and trying to get it in the camera there and catch the light just right. But yeah, it's got a real nice, you know, carbon fiber 3D look to it. Okay, that's one part of the center console. All right, cup holders, nice. Okay, another piece, and the final piece here. All right, this is fantastic looking, and then a bunch of adhesion promoter. Okay, this is good stuff. We are going to clean it off with alcohol first and then hit it with the adhesion promoter. Now, from what I see right now, they're going to sell this in either 3 pieces, so these 2 here, not including this, or you could buy the set of 4 altogether, which I don't know, I think you're gonna kind of need, my opinion. All right, and then another piece here. Okay, check this out. This is the steering wheel cover, and I gotta say, when you've got a curved piece like this, the carbon fiber looks even better. Oh man, I cannot wait, because I've already got the overlays on the steering wheel, and all of this is just going to really finish up. I mean, obviously, I've got the, maybe not obviously, I've got the Model 3 Performance, so the dash already has carbon fiber on it from the factory, and this matches that very well. Now, we'll see when we get in my car. I actually have a different piece of carbon fiber in there, so it doesn't match up perfectly with this, but it's still carbon fiber. And with that, with the steering wheel overlays, and now with this, it's going to be a much more complete set. Oh, also, don't forget the seat backs. I'll show you those too if you haven't already seen that video. But we've got the seat backs covered in carbon fiber too. So yeah, this is really going to finish off the set. Oh man, all right, I can't wait to get this installed. Let's go. All right, I gotta say, I can't wait to cover this up, because although I do like this finish, it does look pretty cool. It has these tiny little micro holes in there, And whenever stuff gets on here, it can be a little difficult to clean off. I've already kind of wiped this off with alcohol, and it's like there's still stuff on here that looks like it doesn't really come off. So it's kind of a tough thing here, again, because I do like it. I like the way, you know, it's got a texture to it. I do like the way it looks, but it's like one of those things. I just can't keep it clean nor protect it very well. So I can't wait to get these on there. Let me though tell you about a challenge. We're gonna have this here. This folds underneath here, and it's a very tight tolerance. When this tucks underneath, it comes very close to hitting the underside of this. And when you put this on there, you know, it's very thin. They use very, very thin tape. However, right now I'm putting it on, and it does have this backing, which does add a little bit of thickness to it also. But I can tell there's probably still going to be an issue, and they did tell me about this. It hits a little. It hits, right? Again, it's obviously not stuck, so it's not as low as it's going to go. So if you give it just like a little bit of push here, it'll go under, okay? And I'm not liking that, obviously, because over time it's probably going to damage the edge of this and potentially start lifting it up. So what I am thinking of doing is this plastic piece right here that is in between these, I don't know, I'll call these, it's like, I think it is actually aluminum, but I'm not positive. In between these pieces of aluminum, I think I'm going to try to shave this down a little bit, because if we look at this piece will cover that up. It covers up this little black filler in there. This black small trim piece here, when this is where we want it, you can see it covers that up, and it's going to be higher up than this trim piece here. So I think, you know, if we really wanted to get crazy, we could pretty much eliminate it, which I don't think I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get underneath it a little bit and just kind of shave it away so that we have more clearance, because I am really liking how this looks. I mean, if I'm gonna, again, I do like this. If I'm gonna replace this with anything, carbon fiber, I think, is the way to go. So let me work on this a little bit and tell you what I did. You know, now the other choice is, honestly, once I have this piece down, it is incredibly rare that I have this covered. I honestly, I don't remember having this covered. It's always like this. Whether I have a cup to put in here, sometimes I throw my glasses in, anything. I throw all kinds of stuff in here as just a temporary holding thing. So I honestly, I don't think this is that important of a thing, because I don't push this in and out often. Now, if I did, yeah, this would definitely be an issue. But anyway, let me see if I can make this a little bit better, you know, in case other people want to have this be able to move in and out all the time. It is an issue. I don't want to say it's not an issue, but it's definitely not one that I think is a big deal, just because, again, I don't use this often. So anyway, let me see what I can do. It seems like it's better, and oh, I gouged it. Oh. All right, so I tried to put this tape on here to protect it, and I still gouged it. Boy, that's a bummer. Well, good thing I've got something to cover it up. All right, it is better, but it's not 100%. Now, I've been trying to angle it, so I'm not going straight across. I'm coming in at a little bit of an angle to also try to slope it more, and it's definitely sloped a lot more. It's angled a lot more than it was before. Now, if you're thinking that you could shave this down or file this down, that's generally not a great idea. Not only is there a coating on here, and the coating just is not going to look good when you cut it down, it's also then would lead to the fibers coming through. I mean, this is real carbon fiber, so you can't really shave this down at all. Even if you were to try to, I think, cut it across, not only would it not look as good, but you wouldn't be able to get that same finish that that this has right now. So that's kind of a no-go. So using this blade here, I set it very shallow because I don't want it to be like cutting anything that I don't want it to cut. And I just made a couple more passes. This time I set the blade at a more steep angle and cut under here, or shaved under here a little bit more. And I also just kind of pull up on here. Not incredibly hard. I don't know exactly what's holding this in. I don't want to pull it out, but it did help a lot in creating more room there. I'm not pressing very hard here on my thumbs. I'm just kind of holding it down to where I think it should be and keeping it in place, and it's actually clearing. So that is a really good sign. And also, you know, I didn't want to shave with this blade with the carbon fiber in there, but if you were to tape this off, you know, there's a lot of clearance in here, and as long as you had some tape in there, and then it would be a lot more easy to determine if you're clearing or not. So anyway, I think we're finally ready to put this down. Give you a closer look here. Okay, obviously that was a bad mistake, so maybe put a couple layers of tape down and just be careful. But as you can see, this trim is shaved way down in this direction, and then also underneath it's at a much more steep of an angle. It's really hard to show that, but you know, when you're looking at this, it really doesn't change it at all if you eventually decide to take the carbon fiber off, which I'm not sure really why you would. But anyway, yeah, let's get these pieces on, get them taped on there and stuck for good. I can't wait. All right, what I am doing first, and I suggest doing yourself, is to dry fit the pieces before you actually adhere them. And I'm doing that first with this piece, which I think is the easiest one to do. And you'll see these have a particular shape to them. It's not like they're square, so if you put it this way, it doesn't fit. This way fits perfectly, and this has a rounded edge to it, which conforms here. So just kind of get a feel for where this is going to go, and when we put it down, I'm going to start with this edge here, kind of lightly press it down until we get it to where we know it's like in the exact spot we want. Then we're going to put pressure on it, and we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. First, we are going to use the adhesion promoter. Well, pull the backing off first, do the adhesion promoter, and then put these on, like I said, lightly, because typically once this tape touches something, it's very difficult to get it off, and you don't want to keep pushing it on and off. It starts losing adhesion. And then once we get it down, we're going to hold it down for about 30 seconds. And you do need to hold things down like this with this double-sided tape for about 30 seconds or so. And it's better to do when it's a little warmer out, although it does work when it's colder, but you should hold it down even longer. All right, let's start with the wipe down. Alcohol. This stuff dries really quick. That is why I took the adhesive off of everything. So once you put this down, you've got a few minutes to put whatever you want to stick on here. And I'm going to make sure that this edge has a lot of this. And by the way, This stuff smells. This stuff is potent. Again, starting back here. Okay, everything looks pretty well lined up. So I'm going to start pushing back there. Kind of start in the center. Everything still looks lined up pretty well. Alright, so now I'm going to keep pressure on this for about 30 seconds or so. Wow, that looks great already. Yeah, this is the way it goes. And I am going to start with this edge because I want to make sure that it is as far this way as possible. I'm going to make sure I get good pressure on this edge here because that is the edge that we have some issue with. Okay, now I'm going to keep some pressure on here for about 30 seconds or so. Okay, so this one I would like to put this edge down first and then lay it down, but we can't. We have to slide it under here, and this is going to be a bit of a challenge because we want to slide it under here, but we don't want to stick it down yet. And wow, yeah, this is not going to be extremely easy. Okay, I think I've got it lined up here pretty good. I'm going to kind of start here, let that go, and all right, I think we are in. I focused here first, made sure that everything was lined up all the way across before I let go. So now we can start kind of putting it in like this. Make sure we don't get any like pockets of areas where it's not sticking down. All right, now I'm going to put some pressure on this. Not a ton, I don't want to smash this thing, but just kind of put some pressure on here for 30 seconds or so. All right, final piece. Now this really only works in one direction, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get in here, but it only fits like this way. If you turn it the other way, it doesn't work. So, and you could see it kind of barely fits in there. So again, I'm kind of doing a dry fit rehearsal. All right, again, adhesion promoter. All right, now keeping some pressure on where the tape is, 30 seconds at a time.